And we say happy Tuesday and what's going on. Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. We're live on the Ballard Sports Media Facebook and YouTube page. And we're also live on Mayhem Matthew, aka Edom Dogs, on YouTube. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be on live with you and the Touchdown Tuesdays. I really love the Touchdown Tuesdays. Every single Tuesdays, we make our bold predictions and we sit there and we talk about them.
Yeah, I think when you're talking, I'm going to try to keep myself muted because I am in my new studio room, which is a work in progress. And the echo is kind of crazy. We're going to try to figure something out this weekend. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I love doing this show with you. And I always appreciate the audience that we get. And it's going to be an exciting football season. We're going to try to keep the show going through the football season too. But we're here to help make the off season go by faster.
For sure, for sure. So today we're going to be talking about 247 Sports came out with this article, and it says college football's top 10 way too early bold predictions for the 2023 season. And we're going to take a look at that. And Ballard does not know any of them. I know a few of them just because I had to look up the article, but I didn't read all of them. So we're going to get our raw reactions to that. But first, we want to do our bold takes like we normally do here on the Touchdown Tuesdays. If you haven't been watching before, normally we do a couple of bold takes. And I guess I'll go ahead and start with my first bold take there. And if you don't mind, Ballard, putting it up on the screen, Spencer Rattler has the most yards in the SEC. Well, the SEC is full of brand new quarterbacks. Georgia has Carson Beck. He has never started a college football game. Tennessee has Joe Milton. Let me see. I know LSU's returning their quarterback, but Florida, they're a dumpster fire at quarterback. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Spencer Rattler has the most yards in the SEC. I understand Joe Milton has a cannon for an arm. I get it. And I know LSU's quarterback is going to be really, really good. Jaden Daniels, I get it. But Spencer Rattler, he look, he surprised me last year. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I think that Gamecocks team, they're not gonna compete for a conference title or a national title or playoffs. They're not gonna compete for any of that. But I do think they are on the up and up. And I think Spencer Rattler has that team looking really good, and he's going to be a special playmaker for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let me know your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, you got to look at experience in the SEC. I think that it starts with Spencer Rattler. You got a team like Ole Miss who's still trying to figure out the quarterback situation. I think we know that Carson Beck's going to be the starter for Georgia, but he is young, and it's going to be a new team for you guys. And you look at Alabama. I mean, we got a three man race with Tyler Buckner coming in and Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. So I agree with your take that um, he's got the weapons. He's very mobile, so he can run, get some rushing yards into his stats, and throw the ball downfield. And I understand you're not trying to hype up South Carolina, but you are trying to say be careful what they can do offensively, especially with Spencer Rattler at quarterback.
Yeah, and another thing is, I forgot to mention, Ole Miss has a quarterback battle. Alabama has a quarterback battle. Vanderbilt ain't going to put up too much yards. It's not really a bold take to say that Spencer Rattler could have the most yards in the SEC. I think Arkansas, they bring back their quarterback, but I think Arkansas is just going to be horrible. The only thing good about their team could be their quarterback, and their running back, which I'll get to. Are we good?
You said quarterback. I don't remember where you cut out, but you're back now.
Okay. Well, basically, what I'm saying is, long story short, Arkansas is not going to be that great, and their quarterback and possibly their running back could be the only things that save them. But they lose a lot of weapons. Arkansas loses a lot of weapons on the wide receiving core. So I think they're going to use their running game a little bit more than their passing game. And I think Arkansas is just going to be a dumpster fire this year. I love Sam Pittman, but he has a whole clean slate of coaches coming in. Lots of people, hit the transfer portal from Arkansas. It's just not looking good down in Arkansas. So Spencer Rattler having the most yards in the SEC is really not a bad take.
No, I will fully agree with you. Just the lack of quarterbacks, I think, as far as experience and everything in the SEC. And you talk about, I mean, he's probably the most, really, I don't even think it's a probability. I think that he is the most experienced coming back. So,
Yeah,
like I said, so.
another thing, a lot of people forget. Just a few years ago, Spencer Rattler had over 3,000 passing yards at Oklahoma as a freshman. So
Yeah,
I
talented.
mean, he's very talented. I think he got a little bit cocky last year at the beginning. He thought he was going to be able to come into the SEC and just did what he did at Oklahoma, and we taught him a lesson. We literally spanked his behind like a baby, okay? And we told him to sit down, relax. You're not that great. You got to do some practicing, and then towards the end of the year, he showed that he has what it takes, and now I'm a believer in Spencer Rattler. I'm not saying that Carolina is going to go out and win a national title. I'm not saying that, but I am on the Spencer Rattler train here in the SEC.
Absolutely. And speaking of the SEC, want to get into Ballard Sports Media, my take of the night, first one at least. I'm going to go to my Crimson Tide, and I'm going to say wide receiver Isaiah Bond leads the group in receiving yards. Now, I don't know if he's going to have 1,000 yard season. I don't know what to expect. The offense has a lot of questions, especially at the Romo quarterback, but I do think he is the most talented receiver in this group. I think he showed out a lot in the spring game. I think that he has potential. When you look at his stats last year, he had 17 receptions for 220 yards and a touchdown. He's a freshman from Buford, Georgia. You're welcome, Bulldogs, for us taking him off your hands. And he looked good. His lone touchdown actually came against Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl last season, and we, of course, Alabama has Jermaine Burton back and Ja'Cory Brooks, but I don't know what it is. This guy is special. I see a lot of potential, and I have a lot of faith and belief in this guy this year.
Right. I mean, if Bama's going to, and we're going to talk about this right after this take, because I want to get into it. I have been off of YouTube for a couple of days, so I'm ready to talk about this because I don't understand what's going on in Kirk Herbstreit's mind. I don't get it. But if Bama is going to be back to Bama standards, right? They need a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a decent running game. I mean, and that also means a good offensive line, but and an elite defense. But I know what you're going to say. Obviously, you need a whole team to be elite, but I mean, the main things that Nick Saban really needs is a quarterback and a wide receiver. If Isaiah Bonds is going to be as good as you say that he is, right?
Right.
And the quarterback situation down at Bama gets to the level of Bama standard, maybe y'all can have a good season. But I want to talk about what Kirk Herbstreit said. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but basically he's saying that Alabama's going to win the national championship. It's a lock to win the national title, a lock. And I think that's buffoonery. I really do. I think that's a lot of buffoonery. And I'm gonna tell you why. You got some great teams out there this year. Georgia, LSU. Yeah, Alabama's probably going to be good. Clemson, they're going to be back to playoff caliber style team this year. I think Clemson was only a quarterback and an offensive coordinator away, and they got it. I think Clemson has a top 5 defense coming into 2023. Penn State's going to be amazing. Washington's going to be really good. USC, Tennessee is going to be around that 9-10 win season this year. So to say that it's a lock to win the national title is absurd and crazy, especially whenever Bama only has one national title in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's hard to admit that stuff as an Alabama fan. I thought it was kind of crazy. I mean, I looked at it, Herb Street's comments the other day from a couple different perspectives. I mean, as an Alabama fan, it's like, great, finally the media is catching on. Finally, someone has some belief. But I also had to tell him to slow his roll. I'm not actually in talks with Kirk, but I looked at it and I'm like, dude, did you watch the spring game this year? But you got to understand the point he made. He said, just when you think it's not going to happen is when Alabama shows up. And to a certain extent, I mean, go back to 2015, and I think some people kind of doubted us in 2017 after we lost to Auburn, and we shouldn't have made the playoffs, stuff like that. And I get that, but 2015, 2009, you look at all that. I mean, it's it can happen this year, but I'll be honest and say that I think they have a lot of question marks, and they just have to figure some more stuff out, and they got to show it on the field. I think that Texas game week 2, if they pull it off in a blowout, maybe I'll start to have some belief, because Texas is going to be a good team this year. If they struggle and they have issues with the offensive line, and even if they have, God forbid, we have some defensive issues too in Tuscaloosa, they just got a lot of stuff to figure out. So I'm kind of with you on this one, Matthew.
Yeah, I want to address Joey's. It says, Ballard, you have an echo chamber, but I think it's feedback from Matthew. It's not feedback from me. He just he has a echo chamber in his room. But you want to, I guess, address that? Just clear the air on that.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of trying to move downstairs at my house, and I have a studio room. I'm going to save my money up and see what I can do. I'm actually going to talk to my grandfather about it this weekend to see what he has that maybe could echo cancellation. So,
for sure, but I do want to say that I do want to say this: Alabama can easily win 10 games. Easy. Nobody's doubting that. Nobody's doubting the fact that Alabama can't win 10 games. I mean, I'm sure there's some delusional college football fans that are saying that Alabama's going to go 8-4. I don't believe that. And I also don't believe in the Texas hype this year. Texas has been favored to win the Big 12 ever since 2016. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and now 23. That is 8 years. All right. 8 years being favored, and they still haven't won the Big 12. Until they actually win the Big 12, I will never say that Texas is going to win the Big 12, because that is just, to me, the what is it like? What is it insane? The definition of insane, right, is is keep on saying something over and over and expecting different results whenever you get the same results, right? So I think it's an insane take to say that Texas is going to be great. Yes, they have a better offensive line. Yes, they have Xavier Worthy and they got AD Mitchell from Georgia. Them are going to be the two great wide receivers for that team. I get it. They got the great quarterback in Quinn Ewers. They're going to have an awesome offense. What about the defense though? They probably have a great defensive line. I think that Texas is probably going to be 8-4, 9-3, somewhere around there. And I think they disappoint once again in college football. I do think Alabama comes in and beats them like a drum. I don't think it's. Probably by 14 points. If I had to put a spread to it, Alabama wins by 14, and because they remember what happened last year, they were 1 point, technically 2 points away from losing, and they're not going to let that. Saban's not going to let that happen this year, and Texas is going to come in with a lot of cockiness into that game, and they got to go to Tuscaloosa, Bryant-Denny Stadium. I look forward to seeing Texas just getting rocked by Alabama. I'm not hyping up the SEC. I know Texas is coming into the SEC in 2024, but Texas is going to have a setback in that game. They're going to realize that they're not as good as what people are really building them up to be. And that could be a bold take, but I want to go ahead and get to my second take of the night, and that is Rocket Sanders has the most rushing yards in the SEC. And I already touched on this a little bit because I believe Arkansas is going to be a dumpster fire. I think Rocket Sanders and KJ Jefferson is going to have to do a lot of running around. I don't think Arkansas's offensive line is going to be too good. And Arkansas has a lot of players that left as far as the wide receiving core, right? So with that being said, they're going to have to run the rock a lot, because I don't know who they're going to throw it to. So Rocket Sanders is probably the best. KJ and Rocket Sanders, but I'll probably say Rocket Sanders is probably the best person on that offense, and I think they're going to have a lot of production in the rushing game. So give me Rocket Sanders to have the most rushing yards in the SEC.
All right. I like Rocket Sanders. Like I said, I think I had a take about him in one of our previous shows, and he's a rocket for sure, man. He's fast. He's got speed. Got some speed on him, as I like to say, and he's got potential in the NFL. I think Arkansas is going to open up the run game for him a little more. I'm sure their offensive line could get improvement, and Sam Pittman's a good coach, so I agree with your take.
You want to go ahead and go to your second take there?
Yeah, I'm probably going to catch some crap for this, maybe, but hear me out. I'm going to say that Michigan finally does it. I'm not saying they win it, but I think they could reach the national championship in 2023-24. Um, and I could easily explain, well, I don't want to say easily. I mean, I could explain to you that J.J. McCarthy comes back at quarterback. I think their O line could be much improved. It looked pretty good in their spring game. Of course, they got some young guys there, but they bring a lot of guys back and rotation. So I just think that Michigan is due for it. Now they have to take care of business first, and they have to get over the Big Ten, which is not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy for them the past couple of years. They make it look easy, but they have had some struggles here or there. But beating Ohio State 2 years in a row, winning the East 2 years in a row, winning the Big Ten 2 years in a row, you got to take that next step if you're Jim Harbaugh. And I think that next step is getting to the national championship. I'm not calling them to win it. I don't know who I want to win it this year. Well, I know who I want. I want my team. But I don't know who I'm picking to win the national championship. But I will say this: Michigan's going to be a team that's going to be dangerous, that's going to be on the lookout. And I think they have the potential.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have the potential. They got JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum. Am I right? Blake Corum is coming back, right?
I'm trying to find him on the roster. I know JJ's back. They got Christian Bartholomew, and of course they got like Josh Beetham at tight end. So Blake Corum, I don't. Yeah, he's right here from Marshall, Virginia. He's a senior this year, 5'8", 210, number two running back. Or number one, but he wears number two. Yeah, he's going to be back. So think about
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
You have
listen.
go ahead.
So, I don't agree with the take. Michigan reaches national championship. I don't agree with that take. I think there's going to be a mixture of things that happen. I think Michigan loses to Penn State this year. Penn State's going to be much improved. They have like 80% of the rosters coming back. I think I think Penn State loses to Ohio State, but then Michigan loses to Penn State, and then I think Ohio State trips up somewhere and loses some games. But I do think Penn State goes to the Big Ten title, and I think Penn State gets into that Final Four. But that's just my way too early prediction there. But Michigan, I see them as a 10-2 type of team this year. Yes, they return a lot of production, but you know what the crazy thing is? Michigan already has in their practice rooms to beat Georgia. They have how they put beat that team up north or whatever it's called. Uh, you know, they have beat Georgia listed in their practice room. So, um, but I listen. I don't agree with that take. Michigan reaches national championship. I don't know. I'm not even sold on Michigan beating Ohio State this year. I mean, maybe Michigan beats Ohio State, and
Now, I
then
will say this. I will say they get Ohio State at home this year. And I understand if you like Ohio State this year, but think about what they lost compared to what Michigan lost. I can't see Ohio State really much competing for the Big Ten this year. I really can't. I think they've lost too much. They lost Jackson Smith, they lost CJ Stroud, I think they lost Paris Johnson on the O line, and I just think they got holes to fill. I love Penn State. My grandparents are Penn State fans, and I'll be pulling for them every step of the way. The only thing I'm looking at Penn State's schedule. For Michigan, they do have to go late in the year, and it's a noon game. Thank God it's not a whiteout because that would make it a whole lot worse. It would make it more interesting. Michigan could probably win that game. I'm going to call an upset and say Penn State gets the victory. They currently have a line out that's 2.5 Michigan. So I guess it technically would be a Penn State upset if they win. But outside of that, man, there's really not much room for error. Don't you
yeah,
think?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make this prediction right now. I'm gonna say Michigan loses to Ohio State. No, 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 no. Sorry. Michigan beats Ohio State. Penn State loses to Ohio State. Ohio State then loses another game in the Big Ten. So basically, I'm saying that Penn State's going to be 11-1. The only loss is to Ohio State, but Ohio State will lose to Michigan and lose to another Big Ten opponent, which will still put Penn State at the top of the Big Ten. And then I think Michigan loses. Michigan loses to Penn State, and Michigan could lose another game, maybe out of conference or something. But still, Penn State with the victory over Michigan still would get Penn State into that Big Ten title game. So I think that's how it's going to shake up. I know that was a really confusing way of explaining it, but forgive me, whatever. But
You're all right. Let me ask you this real quick before we move forward. Can I ask who you like out of the Big Ten West? Because I like Iowa.
I like Wisconsin.
Okay.
And that brings us to the and I don't think the Big Ten West is going to be that good. I think a 3-loss team could probably. I mean, wasn't Purdue a 3-loss team and made the Big Ten championship? I think a 3-loss team out of the West could possibly make it. But that brings us to the next segment really smoothly, actually. Uh, College football's 10 way too early bowl predictions for the 2023 season. 247 Sports put this out. And here's the 10 of them. I'm going to read it to you. And you tell me if you think it's right or wrong. And here's the first one. Wisconsin is the next season's Tennessee. What's your thoughts?
I get what that's saying. Now, I don't know if they, I don't know if they mean like they finish the same way, like they're a runner up, but they still like, go 10 wins out of nowhere. I get, honestly, Wisconsin, here's the thing. Uh, I think they're going to stay where they should be. I really think they could be the second best team in the West behind Iowa. I don't see them coming out of nowhere to win that. I
Well,
personally
I don't think it's out of nowhere. I don't think it's going to be out of nowhere, to be honest with you. I believe Wisconsin went 7-5 in the regular season, and then they lost their bowl game, and that was with a coach that is not as good as Luke Fickell. I think Luke Fickell adds from the transfer portal some good players. I think they're also switching the offense up. They have a new offense coordinator, Phil Longo. And got a couple of quarterbacks from the portal there. Also, Tennessee had the same record as the Wisconsin Badgers before they went 10-2, right? They went 7-6 the season prior. So I guess what this is saying is, Wisconsin could be the next Tennessee, and I totally agree with this take. I think Luke Fickell is going to have Wisconsin back to playing Wisconsin football. Wisconsin is going to scare a lot of people just because they are in the Big Ten West. I don't think the Big Ten West really has any competition. I think the 4 best teams in the Big Ten as a whole is Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. After that, I guess you could put Iowa in there. Purdue has a new head coach. Maryland's not going to be no contender or anything like that. Indiana, really, who are they? I can go down the list. I think, you got Nebraska, Matt Rule, but I still think Luke Fickell is a better coach than Matt Rule. Matt Rule has been out of the college realm for a few years there. So, and what we know about Matt Rule, right? In his previous history, Matt Rule always has 1 year of a failure before he gets better, right? And maybe the transfer portal changes that way. Maybe Matt Rule comes in his first year and just absolutely kills it, but I don't see that happening. But what I do see happening is Wisconsin taking over the West there and becoming the new Tennessee of last year. They could possibly go 9-3, 10-2, and make the Big Ten championship. I do think they're going to lose the Big Ten championship, but it was just a few years ago where Luke Fickell made the college football playoff with a group of 5 team and went undefeated in back-to-back regular seasons. So I think Luke Fickell is an excellent coach. I think he's ready for the Power Five. He was going to the Power Five regardless because Cincinnati's now in the Power Five. So, with that being said, he's ready. He's locked and loaded. He knew he had to go to Wisconsin if he was going to win anything because Cincinnati is not looking on the up and up. They're looking a little bit on the down and down. So to build his coaching record up, and he knew he needed to get out of Cincinnati and get on the Wisconsin train there. So I think it's a great fit. I think that was probably the best coaching hire of the offseason. I'm looking forward to Wisconsin winning the West.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to the chat tonight. What's up, TikTok Chess All? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hope to bring our show back very, very soon. Anyway, getting to Wisconsin. So, what was it? I got it right here, I guess. Wisconsin is next season's Tennessee. It's like they've been good before. They have hype every year, but can this year be the year they pull it off? I think it's a possibility, but I don't know, man. I like the improvement of Iowa for the West, but Tennessee, think about it. They didn't win the East last year, but they still won 10 games. I think Wisconsin could do it. Absolutely. Um, when you look at Wisconsin, this is a team that's always been heavy on offensive line, good running backs. So who was the good runner? Jonathan Taylor. That's who. This is a team that last year they got to have improvement with Luke Fickell as the head coach. He's going to come in. He's going to know what he's doing. And the thing about Luke Fickell though that gets me is this is his first Power Five job, at least to my knowledge, and it's got to be a step up. It's Buffalo and Georgia Southern in the non-conference. You're going to win those games. Could they beat Iowa at home? That's the game to circle. At Purdue, what do they do there? Ohio State, you mentioned, and it's just, I guess it sets up pretty nicely as far as the schedule. I just got to wait and see what happens.
Right. And here's the next bold prediction that 247 has. Heisman winner comes out of the Pac-12. Now, I totally agree with this take because I have Michael Penix Jr. winning the Heisman, and he's going to be out of Washington. I think Washington makes the playoffs this year. I think they go 11-1, win the Pac-12, and they're going to be in the playoffs as probably a 4 seed, right? And Michael Penix Jr. is going to lead them there. I think their offense is going to be even better. I think Michael Penix Jr. breaks the record that he broke last year and in the passing yards from Washington. I think he had the most passing yards as a Washington quarterback, and I think he breaks his own record this year. And I think he is going to be incredible. I think that's going to be one of, I'm not saying the best, but I'm going to say one of the best offenses in the Pac-12. I know USC is going to have a great offense. I understand that Utah, if what's it, Cam Rising or whatever his name is, if he's healthy, they could probably have a great offense. And I know Oregon in Bo Nix is going to have a great offense, but I really think Washington deserves all the hype that, and also from what 247 Sports saying that it could be between Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. I think Michael Penix Jr. got Bo Nix beat by a long shot. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that.
I don't know if I want to say it's a long shot between Michael Penix and everybody else. I do think that it's 1-2. I think Bo Nix is behind Michael Penix. I like Michael Penix here. I agree with your take about him possibly winning the Heisman. You like Washington to make the playoffs. I don't know about Washington as a playoff team in that, but I do think that they got a Heisman contending quarterback. I mean, he's got the arm talent. He's very mobile. He's clean in the pocket. He's got the receivers to throw to. Can make plays downfield. Can manipulate the defenses. He can do all of that. Put up great passing numbers, completion percentage, yards. Can he run? Yes. So he's going to have the statistics and the ability to win big time football games. Um, like I said, your take about them possibly making the playoffs with Michael Penix. I mean, I could see them as a playoff tier two at the top of the tier two list, but I don't know, man. I like the take of the Heisman. I can't get behind Washington in the playoffs for some reason. What's your thoughts?
Well, the reason, I mean, I think USC and Lincoln Riley has maybe a year or two left to get there. I mean, maybe USC Trojans win the Pac-12 not in 2023, but maybe in 2024. I think Lincoln Riley is going to choke once again, and I do think it's definitely going to be a race between Oregon and Washington for the Pac-12. One of them teams will make the playoffs, either Oregon or Washington. And I just, Oregon's one of them chokers in big games, especially Bo Nix. I can't really get behind Oregon in the playoffs. Not right now, anyways. I know they have a fantastic team. They're going to be very, very, very good. So I'm not saying that Oregon is going to be trash or anything. They're going to be very good. I just think Washington is going to be better. But with that being said, let's move on to the next one. And praise the Lord. That was my initial reaction to this. It says Cade Klubnik, not Jordan Travis,
I need that standard too.
Is ACC's top player. So I'm not just agreeing with this because it's 247 Sports. I'm agreeing with this because I have been preaching this to whoever would listen to me, that Florida State's Jordan Travis is not going to be as good as what people are saying. I think Cade Klubnik is going to be very, very good. I think he's going to be better than Jordan Travis, right? And I think Cade is going to be a breakout star that is going to be like, oh my goodness, where did this come from? So I think Clemson is going to be in the playoffs. I think they are the team to beat in 2023. Yes, I said it. Not my Georgia Bulldogs. Hold on. My Georgia Bulldogs will be a team to beat in 2023, but it is extremely hard to three-peat in any sport. So, especially in football, it hasn't been done in over 90 years. And I understand history does repeat itself. So, Georgia fans, don't hate me for saying that. But if we were to lose to a team, it's going to be a team like Clemson. I think Clemson has the most rat poison that people talk about. And I think they prove a lot of fans wrong this year. Clemson will be in the national title game with my Georgia Bulldogs. And hopefully my Georgia Bulldogs win. I'm going to be pulling for them. But Clemson is going to be a team to beat. They're going to be undefeated going into that national title game. And it's going to be off the back of Cade Klubnik. And Jordan Travis is going to be sitting at home watching the national championship, eating popcorn, and their team is going to be 8-4, 9-3, something like that as well. Maybe that's good enough to make the ACC title game, but just like Clemson did to North Carolina, Clemson will blow out Florida State in a rematch. I think they're going to beat them in a close game the first time around, but I think Clemson towards the end of the year is just going to be too strong and too powerful for the ACC. Give me that take. I love that take. Cade Klubnik, not Jordan Travis, is ACC's top player.
Sorry, you said Clemson's going to be undefeated going into the playoff.
Yes, sir.
Oh God.
And listen to this. Listen to this. So in 2024, Georgia plays Clemson to start the year. It's going to be a national championship rematch to open the season, and it's just going to be. The TV ratings are going to go up, my baby. Woo!
I like Clemson this year too. I like Clemson to win the ACC. I think Florida State, man, I think I've settled on them making the ACC title this year, but I still think they're a year or two off. I don't know about. I hope Clemson gets back to the playoffs. I really do. I'm pulling for them a little bit. There's a part of me that wants to see that. There's a part of me that wants a Bama Clemson rematch, and from when they demolished us years ago. I don't know, man. I just don't see. Gosh, like I said, man, Michigan probably that team. I don't see Georgia. I just also don't see Clemson winning the title.
It's either going to be Georgia or Clemson winning the national championship next year. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you.
How cool would it be, though? How cool would it be if we got Clemson and Michigan in the title? We're both going live for that game, so we can both pull for one side or the other.
Yeah, maybe so. I think Clemson has got the second best team in college football this year. I think Georgia has the best team. Obviously, I'm a Georgia fan. What can I say? But Clemson is going to be the team to beat. I said last year Ohio State was going to be the team to beat. I didn't think Georgia could go back to back. And guess what happened? We almost lost to the team I said. And watch, I'm going to be right again. Clemson is going to be the team to beat in 2023. So let's move along here. UNC finishes 6-6 as preseason top 25. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, they got an awesome quarterback. They got Drake May. They have an exciting offense. Their defense is going to be a little bit suspect, but I think it could be better than last year. I don't know, 6-6. That's a little bit crazy to say that. I'm gonna disagree with this take. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't done a preview for UNC yet, so I haven't really looked too much into it. I like Drake May, and I need to look in a little bit more at what they have coming back outside of Drake May. I think that Drake May is a potential Heisman candidate, not winner, but Heisman candidate. It's going to be between those three teams. It's going to be between Clemson and Florida State and UNC. Like you said, not buying the Florida State hype. It could be a rematch with Clemson for UNC. But again, for the take, they finished 6-6 as a preseason top 25. They'll be a preseason top 25. I think they could do better than 6-6. I mean, it could be 7-5, 8-4, but I think 6-6 seems low.
Right. According to 247, it says they have the toughest schedule in the ACC. They open up with top 25 South Carolina. They host Appalachian State, and they welcome Minnesota to Chapel Hill before a road trip to Pitt to open the ACC play. They also the Tar Heels' best assistant left for Wisconsin. Obviously, Phil Longo. We already talked about that. And lost his top wideout to the NFL and a brand new secondary. But I mean, to say that they're going to be 6-6, I don't buy that. I mean, they might go 7-5, 8-4. I think the ceiling for this North Carolina team would probably be 9-3. That's like the ceiling. I think 6-6 would be the bottom of the barrel for North Carolina. They would have to have a lot go wrong this year to finish 6-6. But moving along, Coach Prime. We haven't talked about Coach Prime in a couple of weeks, maybe even a month on the Touchdown Tuesdays. We have talked about him. Everybody has talked about him at one point in their YouTube career or whatever. But Coach Prime's first season surprises all, and I totally disagree with that. Nobody's being surprised at Colorado's 3-9 record of next year. I don't agree with it. They have their revamped roster from the portal. I know, last year Lincoln Riley led USC to be 10-2, and I get it, right? I get it. I get why they would say that, because the transfer portal in some people's eyes, and we've already done a Touchdown Tuesdays on this. Can the portal make your team like a million times better? And we kind of found out that it works with some teams, but most teams you can't really build a team through the portal. And we're going to see that this year with Deion Sanders. You can't just have a revamped roster through the transfer portal if you're Colorado and expect to win more than 4 games. They have a win total of they have the expected win total of 4.5 according to some predictions there. But I think I'll go take the under there. I think they might be 4-8 or something like that. Deion Sanders is a winner, so I will give him the 4 games. If Deion Sanders wasn't a winner, I would probably say they win 2 or 3 games. But they have some good guys coming in to play for Colorado, but it's not going to make a difference. I think the Pac-12 is going to put the smackdown on Coach Prime.
I guess I could see that. They say the take is that, the first season is going to surprise everybody. I think that, it says Colorado will surely get to at least 5 wins. I did a Colorado preview a couple weeks ago, and I called you up, and you said, no, they're going to be better. Because I think I had them only at 3 to 4 wins. And I was looking at the negative aspect of what they lost to the portal. I didn't look too much into what they brought back. Deion, he still has to prove. And I think Colorado's that mystery team. We don't know how bad or how good they're going to be. So we just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, this is kind of a mystery team, but I would say 4-8 for the Deion Sanders first year. But maybe they get better as they go. Maybe they get worse. I don't know. But the next one, Hugh Freeze garners SEC Coach of the Year attention. Okay. It says Auburn is landing a top 20 signing class according to 247. And, he's hit some good. He remade its offensive line through the transfer portal, one of the best hauls in the country, signing immediate help is from the defensive front. I get it, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. I don't know if he gets – I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for the Mayhem Matthew people that watch my channel. I have Auburn going 8-4. And yes, Georgia Bulldog fans, I don't think Georgia's going 12-0. It's like literally impossible to go 12-0 for 3 straight years. I'm not one of them, blind homers. I can take my Georgia glasses off for 5 seconds and sit back and relax and tell you that Georgia's not going to go undefeated. And remember, I do believe history does repeat itself in some ways. Remember, Alabama was going on their 3-peat run, and Auburn ruined that, right? And then obviously Auburn faced Florida State for the national title that year and ruined Alabama's chances of three-peating, if y'all remember that or not. But I think something.
Dude, can I interrupt real quick and
Yeah,
say
sure.
that I just realized that we're in a situation we were literally 10 years ago when the kick six and the prayer of Jordan Hare happened and Alabama was trying to three-peat. You kind of brought that up a little bit. Dude, it's been 10 years since that happened. Look at Georgia's situation, man.
That's what I'm saying. It could definitely repeat itself. Hugh Freeze is a great coach. Whether you like him as a person or not, that's debatable. But as a football coach, Hugh Freeze is pretty good. He beat, and I know people are going to say, "Well, he cheated, Mayhem. He cheated." Well, all the stuff that he cheated with at Ole Miss is pretty much legal now, except for the hiring of all the other. I'm not going to get into that, but paying players is legal now, right? So, Hugh Freeze, I guess if you go 8-4, is that going to garner SEC Coach of the Year after what Auburn did the previous couple years? Maybe, maybe not. I'm on the fence on this one because I do think SEC Coach of the Year could go to more deserving coaches. Like I think if Tennessee could pull out another 9 or 10 win season, I think Tennessee's coach could be in that SEC Coach of the Year, especially if Georgia goes undefeated 3 years in a row, something like that. I can see Kirby Smart getting that Coach of the Year. Also, there's a couple others. If Vanderbilt's head coach could get to that 5-7 like they did last year and upset a couple SEC teams, maybe he gets Coach of the Year just based off of what he did at Vanderbilt. I mean, maybe that's something. I don't know if that's really a possibility or not, but maybe Lane Kiffin could stir the pot up after having an off year at Ole Miss. Maybe he can get it. But Hugh Freeze garners SEC Coach of the Year. Maybe I'm on the fence. What's your thoughts?
I think it's definitely possible, but I think he has to do a lot. I go back to my Auburn preview. I think I had them like 8-4, and I think the losses that I have them upsetting Alabama. I gave Alabama a ceiling of 11-1, but I was so hyped up for that video, and it was before the spring game, so it's probably changed by now. But the one loss I said was they could lose the Iron Bowl this year. And that's a big game in the state. All the fans come together and everything. I'm not going to go off on that rabbit trail, but the losses I have for Auburn: Texas A&M, UGA, at LSU, and then I said at Arkansas. But I did this video 5 months ago. I don't remember if it was. Well, yeah, Hugh Freeze had already been hired. It was like right when he got hired. And I just, the only issue that I saw was the situation that Brian Harson had left it in. But then again, Cadillac Williams last year actually did pretty good, giving Alabama a game and a little bit there and coming away with some wins. So they got a couple talented guys. They got this one quarterback I'm actually interested in, Gurner, the freshman. I don't know, man. Auburn could be good. Here's the thing: they're a wild card team, and what I mean by that is they are going to be dangerously unpredictable. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. I think your Georgia Bulldogs should be ready, and I think Alabama should be ready. I think that both of those teams and a couple others in the SEC just have to be prepared when going to Jordan Hare.
Yeah, I don't think Georgia's losing to Tennessee this year. And if Georgia does lose a game, it's going to be at away. It's not going to be at home. Georgia plays their best whenever they're at home. So I don't think Georgia. I don't think Georgia loses at home. I don't think they lose to Tennessee at Tennessee. I think their only possible loss, if I had to pick one, it would be Auburn. And like we said already, history does repeat itself. Maybe. And listen, the only way Georgia does not go to the national championship is if Auburn beats Georgia and then LSU beats Georgia in the SEC title game. That's literally the only way that Georgia does not win a national championship, or unless Clemson beats them. But that's neither here nor there. So I pretty much said there's only 3 teams that could beat Georgia this year, and I stand by that. But anyways, let's go to the next one. Texas plays for a playoff berth in the Big 12 title game. I've already talked about this. I don't believe that crap. You can talk about it. I don't really care. They're not making the Big 12. They're not doing it. So
I think they win the Big 12, but I don't know about a playoff berth.
all right, let's go to the next one because all right, Notre Dame falls out of preseason top 10 by mid-season.
Yes.
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 All right.
Yes.
Now I don't know. Notre Dame is going to have another one of them years where they lose some head scratching games, and well, they don't have a conference, so they're not. Yeah, I agree with that. So, anyways, I'm gonna skip over this one because this came out earlier in the season, and it wouldn't well represent 247 Sports if I said it, but yeah, I'm gonna skip over that one. And then, but here's one that I'm gonna do. Michigan leads college football in scoring offense. Oh, I don't know about that. I know they got Blake Corum, and I know they got JJ McCarthy, and I know you're saying that they're going to make the national championship. I don't have faith in Michigan. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah. Let me see. Leads college football in scoring offense. I wouldn't go that far with Michigan. I still don't know what offense is going to be the most scoringest. Not Bama, but it's also not Michigan. I just don't know, man. I mean, they'll be good. Probably top 10, top 5. I don't know if they're at the very top though.
Yeah, I think the top 3 could easily be Southern Cal, Washington, and Georgia. And Oregon. I would even
Okay.
say Oregon. I would say Oregon, and I would even throw Clemson in there in the top 5, and that's going to shock a lot of people. But I am very extremely high on Clemson this year. So whenever Clemson does make it to the national championship, come back to this video and tell me that I was right. It'll be much appreciated. But yeah, so that's pretty much. I know that was 9 of them. I skipped one of them because I don't think 247 really believes that. Because this
Which
did
one
come
did
out.
you skip? Which one did we skip?
The
Because
Georgia one. The Georgia one. I don't think 247 really believes that because this came out back in February, and we're just now getting around to it. Georgia's not going to start 3 quarterbacks. I mean,
yeah.
and
So the
Todd
take,
Todd,
yeah,
Todd
the
Monken
take
is.
is that Georgia starts 3 quarterbacks and so goes 12-0. You're losing to Tennessee this year, man.
Oh well, hold on. I said that Georgia would lose to Auburn, so you got to give me cut me a little bit of slack there. Georgia
Right.
can still finish. Georgia can still finish 12-0. I agree with that, but with the Georgia starting 3 quarterbacks, I don't agree with that. And they also have Todd Monken as the offensive coordinator, which we all know Mike Bobo is the new offensive coordinator. So that's why I skipped that part of the article there because this is kind of an older article. But I agree with a lot of the things that were on that article, except for obviously a couple of them. But I don't think if you ask 247 Sports, do you think Georgia starts 3 quarterbacks? And stuff like that, they would probably tell you no. So that's why
Yeah.
I didn't even want to talk about it. But since we're talking about it, well, I don't agree with that either. So, but I'm gonna be making some videos here shortly for my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, and it's all on the description in my YouTube about page thing. So just follow me on all the social medias and Ballard, what's going on for you?
Yeah, we're just trying to knock out as many. I don't think we're going to do every Power Five team, but we're going to try to get as many as we can preview wise before the season gets here. Probably won't do them tonight, but we'll try to get some in. I don't know, maybe get around to it Thursday. I got a busy day tomorrow, so I kind of need some rest tonight. But we got that, and just excited for college football, man. I know I can't get into making baseball content. I just haven't found a lot of time to watch baseball. I did watch the NBA Finals. I just didn't give my thoughts on it, but just hit the notification bell on Ballard Sports Media. You'll know what we're posting. So I got a lot of great stuff going for me with the radio station and everything. So
For
just
sure.
stay tuned.
For sure. And I guess my final words is going to say, hey, just like Randy said, go Dogs. Go for 3-23. Go Dogs. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Roll Tide. We love you guys. Ballard is out.